Hi everybody, welcome to MIM. My name is David Wegehaupt. I'm the Associate Curator for USA, Canada, and Europe. And today I just wanted to tell you the story of a small town in East Germany called Markneukirchen. It's been around for over 450 years, and it has a massive history of building musical instruments. In the 17th century, some Protestant refugees leaving Bohemia came to Saxony, just over the border between Bohemia and Saxony, which today is the border of the Czech Republic and Germany. And they established a small town in the hilly farmland regions there. Among that group of people were some violin makers, and in 1677 they established the first violin making guild in Germany, or in the German region. From there, the tradition grew in town, and by the mid-18th century, there were dozens of workshops making all the different types of orchestral instruments and exporting them around Europe for use in the growing orchestral music traditions. In the 19th century, Markneukirchen really began to take off and become known worldwide. First, in the early part of the 19th century, Christian Friedrich Martin was born in Markneukirchen, Germany. He grew up in a family of cabinet makers, and then he went and studied guitar luthiery with Johann Stauffer in Vienna, and worked in his workshop and came back to Germany, to his hometown, and was looking to establish a shop there, but he had some disputes with the Cabinet Makers Guild and decided to leave Germany and head to the United States, where he founded C.F. Martin Company in 1833, and that is now obviously one of the largest guitar companies in the world. So started out of Markneukirchen. But by the end of the 19th century, Markneukirchen factories were building all types of instruments, including brass, woodwinds, orchestral instruments. It's estimated that at the end of the 19th century, around 40% of the instruments made in the entire world were made in this small town, Markneukirchen. So, a couple of examples of some of the big factories. The Oscar Adler Company made the very first saxophones in the German-speaking region. Also, some of these workshops experimented with different types of instruments, different shapes, seeing what would catch on. Also from the Oscar Adler Company is the octavin, which is a wooden instrument with a conical bore and a single reed mouthpiece. So it looks kind of like the body of a small bassoon with a clarinet or saxophone mouthpiece, and it ends up sounding a lot like a soprano saxophone. But those did not take off, so not exactly a successful experiment. A few fun shapes of some brass instruments show what might come out of the factories when people are feeling like trying something new. This saxophone-shaped instrument was capitalizing on the saxophone's popularity in the 1920s. It's the normophone. Only about 100 of those were made, and just another shape of a brass instrument. Markneukirchen is making a huge portion of the world's musical instruments. After World War II, though, Markneukirchen is part of the German Democratic Republic, and so the state had the workshops reorganize into larger manufacturing of cheaper instruments for efficiency and scale. Some of these factories would copy American-style manufacturing. This guitar here by the MIMphx company, made sometime in the 1960s, is an example of one of the companies that was created after World War II as a government manufacturer, mass-producing instruments and exporting them around Eastern Europe. So Markneukirchen built a ton of instruments during the time of the USSR that made their way into Eastern Europe. Today, Markneukirchen maintains its status as a major manufacturing hub for musical instruments, as well as accessories. They make all kinds of mouthpieces, reeds, strings, and all kinds of instruments. There's about 1,300 people in the less than 9,000 population working in the musical instrument industry at about 100 different workshops. A few years ago, UNESCO recognized Markneukirchen as a cultural heritage spot for its almost 450 years of instrument building traditions. So it's a very small town in eastern Germany with a huge impact worldwide with the number of instruments that they have exported all over the place. So that's the story of Markneukirchen, one of 4 stories we tell here in the Germany exhibit and one of thousands told throughout the museum. Thank you very much. Have a good day.